Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We are at 6:30 this Monday morning, and today is November 4th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your warm Monday forecast. It is November, but it's not feeling like it.
It is not. In fact, like those temperatures we're feeling right now are just a little bit cooler than the high temperatures we normally see this time of year. So definitely a little warm outside. And let's take a look at those current temperatures. 60 degrees in Jackson and Irvin and 61 degrees in Moorhead. The average high temperature for this week is 62 degrees and Monticello is at 65. So definitely going to be a warm day. And as we look through the satellite and radar, at least we have just a little bit of clouds to maybe cool down the high temperatures a little bit. And as we look at those highs, wow, it is going to be warm. We're continuing to see those temperatures increase from the temperatures we have right now all the way up into the mid to high 70s. And as we go into tomorrow, we'll continue to see this trend with temperatures even warmer. But for the next couple hours, here is that temperature trend. We're at that 59-degree mark at 7 a.m. and by 3 p.m. we'll be seeing 78 degrees as our temperature. Madison?
All right, Megan, thank you. One person is dead after a house fire in Pulaski County. Officials with the Somerset Fire Department say they were called to Harvey Street Saturday for a fire. They say crews saw smoke from a single-family home and were told there was possibly a person inside. Firefighters found the victim and pulled them from the home. They were pronounced dead by the Pulaski County Coroner's Office. The name of the victim has not yet been released. Also in Pulaski County, a death investigation is underway after a body was removed from over an embankment. The Somerset Fire Department says the Pulaski County Coroner's Office asked for their help removing the body. It was found near the 1300 block of Highway 3057. That's near Sinking Creek. The person's name and cause of death have not yet been released. The coroner's office is still investigating. Saturday, people from near and far made their way to Holy Trinity Catholic Church to remember Senator Johnny Turner. Turner was a Harlan County native who served his county as an attorney. He later held a seat in the House from 1999 to 2002 and eventually became a state senator in 2021. The visitation was last Friday, where we spoke to Senator Philip Wheeler about the man behind the public service.
He was in many ways both a friend, a mentor, and a confidant. He loved the hills just like I do. He truly was a fascinating man.
Senator Turner's burial followed the funeral at the Rest Haven Cemetery in the Keith community. Folks are preparing for the visitation and funeral of a former Southern Kentucky police chief today. Elijah Holon died on Tuesday. He served in law enforcement for 34 years, including 17 of those as police chief of the London Police Department. Holon's visitation will be today from 10 a.m. until noon at the Bowling Funeral Home Chapel in London. Holon's funeral will take place immediately following the visitation. Elijah Holon was 77 years old. With plans for a new federal corrections facility in the mountains recently approved by the Bureau of Prisons, many folks are celebrating. Some, however, rallied against the decades-long effort to plant a prison in their community. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has an update from Letcher County.
For some, it is approximately 20 years of work now showing progress.
We're just watching and hoping that that moves along in a reasonable speed.
For others, it is a fear they have been fighting against for decades.
We're still a long way off from this happening.
Plans to build a new federal correctional institution and federal prison camp in the Roxana community moved forward earlier this week, with Congressman Hal Rogers and other supporters like Elwood Cornett saying it is good news for the local economy.
Very excited. I think if there's anything that Letcher County needs is a few hundred good jobs.
Members of the concerned Letcher Countyans group say that number looks good on paper until you look at reports from the National Institute of Corrections that dive into the stress and concerns of the jobs.
Are they really jobs that are something people want if the life expectancy is only 59 years. High stress, some say equivalent to the trauma that soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan experience.
Group Secretary Artie Ann Bates says the group and its supporting partners believe bringing a new federal correctional facility to Letcher County would be a safety concern for the public, an environmental concern, and will only contribute to more issues instead of working at solutions in the mountains.
The country as a whole is realizing that other developed countries don't incarcerate at the rates we do, and we can't just incarcerate our way out of our social problems, such as drug abuse and that sort of thing.
But those involved in the planning and planting of the proposed prison say it will not only benefit the county, but those incarcerated, with plans expecting room for more than 1,400 individuals.
Have a lot of vocational opportunities, a lot of correctional activities and atmosphere to help those folks become productive and cooperating citizens.
Though the approval for construction was the latest step, Cornett says the next step for the facility is to secure the 500 acres and begin planning for the future. In Letcher County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
A statement from Congressman Rogers' office said the Bureau of Prisons is estimating a 1-year window for the design work and property acquisition. After that, they expect to move forward with the build. Doctors say walking pneumonia is usually caused by something called mycoplasma pneumonia, a certain type of bacteria. And the uptick in cases could be because kids are back in school where the bacteria is floating around. Symptoms of walking pneumonia are typically mild but can be severe. They include dry cough, fever, and fatigue. Treatment options also vary based on the type of pneumonia. As for prevention, doctors are encouraging parents to get their children vaccinated against bacterial pneumonia and influenza, which can actually cause pneumonia. There is no vaccine specifically for walking pneumonia.
There is a very effective vaccine against many of the bacterial pneumonia strains. And every child should be vaccinated against this. We would start vaccinating against that early in life, and that works very, very well. But because the pneumococcal bacteria has so many different strains, we can't protect every strain with the vaccine that's currently available.
In addition to those vaccines, doctors advise getting your child vaccinated for COVID-19 and immunized for RSV if eligible. Thanksgiving is just a few weeks away, and some Kentuckians are getting ready to help single moms in need. The Adopt a Single Mom program provides Thanksgiving meals to hundreds of families in Kentucky every year. It runs through Peer Worship International Ministries. Carla Matamaro started the effort 15 years ago when she became a single mother after surviving domestic abuse. She says they expect to feed more than 400 families this year if the donations are there. They are asking for whole meals, partial meals, or monetary donations.
And so when they get these baskets and they see what's in there, some of them cry. You know, you just think about, I always ask people, put yourself in somebody else's shoes and feel what they feel.
The organization will be distributing food on November 17th. They hope to have donations in before then. Saturday, the city of Lexington promoted safe walking, biking, and scooting. They hosted its 4th annual Glow Ride. Participants added lights and reflective gear to their bikes before parading through the Legacy Trail. The event is meant to shine a light on the importance of being safe when riding at dusk or in the dark. Organizers say every year they schedule the ride on the weekend of the time change.
Days are getting shorter, it's going to get dark earlier, and so this is an opportunity and a fun way to remind everybody that if they're out walking or biking, be sure that they're wearing something reflective, something bright, that cars can see them.
Angela Poe with the City of Lexington says Glow Ride is also a reminder for drivers to be on the lookout for people who are out walking or biking. Saturday, the Lexington Green was packed as people attended the annual Kentucky Book Festival. The event hosted more than 150 published authors and 31 events across 6 stages. Folks were able to meet some of their favorite authors while searching through a wide selection of books.
The Kentucky Book Festival is bigger than books.
Besides just literacy and literature, it's good for the community to get together at an event like this once a year. It's our biggest public event of the year. to let everybody just meet everybody and have a good time.
Planning is already underway for next year's book festival. Organizers say they strive to top the event each year.
As we're going through your morning hours, you might experience some wind gust throughout the area. It's a little bit calmer as we go in the more middle parts of our region. But if you're heading to Virginia, that's where you're going to see more of the higher amounts of wind gusts. 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible if you're in Wise. And as we continue through the next couple hours, that'll vary ever so slightly. And then by the time next morning comes around, that's when we'll see those wind gusts up again. The current temperatures staying nice and warm, and will continue to warm up into our highs in the mid and upper 70s. And as you're heading off to the bus stop today, 59 degrees on your way to school. And by the time you're heading home, 78 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. And thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:40. Still to come on Mountain News this morning, a late election week shock in Iowa as new polling has Vice President Kamala Harris ahead in the ruby red state.